Hey everyone, it's me, Eric Kimball. I'm the man from Planet Whiz Bang. And if you have never been to my planet before, I invite you to stop by at planetwhizbang.com. If you are a gardener or you want to be a gardener, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with some of the resources that I have there. This video is just a short video. I want to talk about sweet potatoes. It is October 1st, and I have dug my sweet potatoes. Now I'm located in upstate central New York State. My growing zone is 4B. The area around me, down lower, I'm up high, and down below the land is growing zone 5. It's a different climate up here. The nearest town to me, 6 miles away, is Moravia. And there have been instances when people are mowing their lawn 6 miles away in Moravia in the spring, and up here where I am, we're having a blizzard. That has literally happened, and that gives you an idea of how different growing zones can be. And so I'm up high, I'm at a high elevation, and I grow sweet potatoes. I've grown them for years. This is a particularly nice one. It's because it's big. We like big sweet potatoes. We like to grow big things, right? All gardeners do. But even the small sweet potatoes taste just as good, and we're glad to get those. So I want to tell you that, first of all, you can grow sweet potatoes in a northern climate. It's not just a southern crop. I've done it for years, and I'm going to put a link in the description below to a blog post that I made several years ago that has a lot of information about growing in northern zones. What I want to do today is just show you my setup here. I only grew 3 sweet potato plants. Last spring I was focusing on my Irish potatoes, we'll call them, 2 long rows, the traditional mounds experiment. If you watch this channel, you know about that. I'm going to be digging those soon to find out what kind of a yield I got. But it's October 1st, the frosts are coming. We've gotten pretty close to getting a frost, but it hasn't quite happened, and you want to get your sweet potatoes out of the ground before the frost comes. The other kinds of potatoes can stay in the ground. They're not going to be harmed by a little frost. So I'm out here digging my sweet potatoes. Only had 3 plants. Only 3 plants. But I got a pretty good yield from 3 plants. And I'm going to get behind the camera. I'm going to show you my yield, and I'm going to show you the setup, how I planted these real quick, so that you've got some perspective, and maybe it gives you an idea and inspires you for next year when it's time to plant your garden again. So here we go. This is the yield from 3 plants, and I put no effort, as you will see, as I'll explain shortly, into growing these after planting. I mean, I did no cultivating, I did no fertilizing, I just got these planted, set up in the spring, real easy, and this is my yield. And sweet potatoes are kind of fun. The way they come out, you never know what you're going to get. And in the past, I've had rodent chewing on them, rodent damage. But I don't see any of that here, so that's good news. Now, sweet potatoes like that, I don't know. But let me show you what I did to grow these. So that right there is a section of billboard tarp, billboard plastic, and it's black on the top, white on the bottom, and I've got some tire sidewalls up there. And what I did was I laid that in my garden. I buried the edges. Let me get closer. I cut a little square hole 4 foot apart in the center. I don't know how wide that is, maybe 5 feet wide, I would say. I tilled the soil, I laid this over, buried the edges, and I put these tire sidewalls around each of the plants. That was it. I did nothing else to it. The weeds grew up around the perimeter. The vines, you can see weeds here, and you can see my strawberry bed down beyond the weeds there, looking pretty good. So there you can see the top growth of the sweet potatoes, and this is just a little section of soil. I did nothing, basically forgot about it. Let the weeds grow up around the edge. I mowed over there and on the other side, but that's it. It's that simple. I tilled the ground, laid the plastic down, put the tire sidewalls around each of those openings, planted the plant, and months later, dig up the crop. All right. One last thing I want to tell you if you're not familiar with sweet potatoes, is that those tubers are not very edible at this point. They need to be cured. They need to be cured with heat and humidity. And we now cure in the oven, in the kitchen. We've done that for a few years. We set up some pretty elaborate curing systems in the past. Now we just do it in the oven. And I will put a link below to a guy who made a YouTube video about curing sweet potatoes in the oven. I can't do any better than he did. And yeah, so you want to cure them so that the starches, those are starchy right now, are converted to sugar. And they will keep. They will keep, and they will be delicious. Hey, that's it. It's a quick little video, like I said. Got to get these into the house, and we'll get curing on them, and I'll get on to other things here. Cross that off my list. See ya.